Hello everyone, this is Cyclone here back with another video on the tropics. It is 7:30 a.m. Eastern Time, June 9th, 2023. We are just 9 days into the Atlantic hurricane season. We only had one named system, that was Arlene, which was very brief and didn't do anybody any good. It didn't affect any land, it stayed over the ocean, which is a fish storm. And we could have Brett soon within the next 7 to 12 days or so. And today I'm just going to give you an update on the tropics. And as you know, it El Nino has kicked in. The El Nino is getting stronger, and it has kicked in already. And I'll be showing you guys that right now. And as you can see right over here, the ocean temperatures as of June 9th, you can see that El Nino right over here, just off the western coast of South America right over here. And it is very, very warm waters right over here. Very, very strong El Nino right over here. You can see some cooler waters right near Hawaii, southeast of Hawaii, right over here. Some cooler waters, but El Nino is going to be taking a toll of this hurricane season on the tropics. You can see some very active developments right over the eastern Pacific right over here due to this El Nino, due to this very, very warm water. You can see the water's up to 3 degrees, 3 to 5 degrees warmer than average right over here. And you can see the Atlantic Basin. We do have some warmer waters right over here near the main development region. We do have some cooler waters right over here near the Gulf of Mexico, right over here near the Florida Peninsula, right over here near the eastern coast of the United States, right over here. And that's going to take a toll during this Atlantic hurricane season and Eastern Pacific and Central Pacific hurricane season. As you can see right over here, the waters are just very, very warm right over here, as you can see. And as you can see right over here, this is the Atlantic wide right over here. You see the main development regions are dealing with some very, very warm waters, up to 2 to 3 degrees warmer than average right over here. And you can see very, very warm waters over there in northern Atlantic. Right over here, we have some cooler waters right over here. Majority of the eastern coast of the United States right over here, and that's just going to take a toll. And these waters may get a little warmer as the months go by. We see August, September, these waters may get a little warmer. So this El Nino, it means that the eastern Pacific Ocean are fairly much very, very warm, as you can see right here, and that's just going to increased wind shear throughout the Atlantic Basin right over here, especially throughout the Gulf of Mexico, Caribbean, and through the main development region. That's going to take a toll on these hurricanes in the Atlantic Ocean, may rip them apart, and mainly just be low developments throughout this Atlantic hurricane season, throughout the Gulf of Mexico, Caribbean, and to the main development region due to that increase in wind shear, just because of that El Nino in the Eastern Pacific. But the water temperatures are very, very warm, so we could see some tropical development just because of that warm water. So don't think that El Nino just going to, take a toll on this Atlantic hurricane season. May, you know what I'm saying, just rip these storms apart. These Atlantic waters are very, very warm, and it's expected to become even warmer as the weeks and months go by. So, these warmer waters can't fill up these systems. Don't think that the wind shear is just going to rip these storms apart and make these systems very, very low. And as you can see right over here, go to the other ones. You can see the ocean temperatures right over here are very, very warm. You can see 70 degrees and higher right over here. You can see 81, 82 degrees right in the main development region. You can see some cooler waters right over here. But these waters are still above average around this time of year. It's just early June, and these waters are very, very warm right in the Atlantic Basin and the Atlantic main development region right over here. You can see the Eastern Pacific right over here dealing with some very, very warm water. You can see mid 80s right over here. This is going to spark some tropical development within the next couple weeks or so. Not really right now due to that wind shear, but you can see the Atlantic is dealing with some very, very, very warm waters, as you can see. And that's just going to increase as the months and weeks go by during this Atlantic hurricane season. So that's just the temperature anomaly right about now. As we can see, let's go to satellite imagery. Next to the tropical tidbits, we do have some tropical waves coming off the western coast of Africa, but as you can see right now, they're not really as big as they were, 48 hours ago. There's some small pockets of shower and thunderstorm activity, and it's going to be moving south in the main development region. We do have some shower and thunderstorm activity just north of South America, and we do have some shower and thunderstorm activity just moving west into the eastern Pacific, but these are not expected to develop. We do have some very, very strong tropical, not really tropical, but shower and thunderstorm activity just for the eastern parts of Cuba and the Bahamas, moving into the Bahamas, and that jet stream right over here. That is, as you can see right here, that jet stream from the Eastern Pacific moving throughout the Gulf of Mexico, just going to keep these storms moving west due to that wind shear. You can see these storms are moving east. You can see these storms are kind of tilted east due to that wind shear, as you can see right over here, as they move east into the Atlantic Ocean. And as you can see right over here, it is very, very strong. These thunderstorm activities throughout the eastern part of Cuba are very, very strong. As you can see right over here, we do have some dry air, as you can see, for the western parts of Dominican Republic and Haiti right over here. And Puerto Rico is dealing with some dry air in these islands right over here. That is because of that dust of their that is coming off the western parts of Africa right over here. That's just going to bring some dry air to the Dominican Republic, Puerto Rico, and Haiti right over here. You're going to be dealing with some dry air due to that dust moving in. And as you can see right over here, we do not have any tropical development expected for the next 48 hours or 7 days, as you can see right over here. And let's look at the Eastern Pacific. Let's look at the Eastern Pacific. Eastern Pacific is kind of quiet, as you can see it over here. It's very, very dry, as you can see. Most of the shower and thunderstorm activity is coming off near the Central America right over here and moving west off into the Eastern Pacific. But these are not expected to develop, as you can see right over here. And as we go back right over here, Atlantic wide, and most of these shower and thunderstorm activity right over here are not expected to develop within as from the National Hurricane Center. As you can see, this is as of 7:24 a.m. Eastern Time. It is 7:37 a.m. June 9, 2023. We do not have any tropical development expected for the next 48 hours, right in the Atlantic Basin, Caribbean, and the Gulf of Mexico, even in the Eastern Pacific, as you can see, even though those water temperatures are very, very warm, and then we can likely see some tropical development within the next week or so. But as of right now, there is no tropical development expected within the next 48 hours. In the Central Pacific, no tropical development within the next 48 hours nor the next 7 days. As you can see, there is no tropical development expected within the next 7 days as the Eastern Pacific nor the Atlantic Basin, as you can see. So it is very, very quiet. The National Hurricane Center has not expecting anything within the next 7 days, as you can see. But as you can see right here, this is from weathernerds.org. As you can see, we were talking about that tropical waves moving off the western tip of Africa right over here. We do talking about that dry air due to that Sahara dust that is moving off the western tip of Africa and moving right through the main development region into the Caribbean right over here. And as you can see right over here, that jet stream is causing these shower and thunderstorm activities for the eastern part of Cuba and Bahamas right over here to move to northeast. And the wind shear is kind of ripping these storms apart, making these storms look very ragged and tilted right over here. And we do have some strong tropical waves. We've been having some very, very strong tropical waves and shower and thunderstorm activity in the Eastern Pacific. That is due to that very, very warm waters, as we were talking about, that El Nino that is kicking in. That El Nino is kind of centered just south right over here near these tropical waves that is moving through the Eastern Pacific, moving into the Eastern Pacific right over here. So this is the radar right over here from weathernerds.org. And you can see the Atlantic is very, very kind of quiet. As you can see, we do have some tropical shower and thunderstorm activity right over here. But as of right now, we do not expect anything to develop within the next 2 to 7 days. And as you can see, the water vapor from weathernerds.org, you can see that dry air due to that dust right over here. That's keeping um, this very area right over here very dry. You can see there's no shower and thunderstorm activity within this area because you can see the moisture does not like dry air. Most of the moisture is just south of the main development region, and it's dust right over here. It's going to keep the main development region quiet for now, as you can see right over here. And the shower and thunderstorm activity is kind of in South to Central America, North to South America right over here. And you can see right over here, we do have some dry air within the Gulf of Mexico too, as you can see. And you can see the wind shear and the currents are moving these storms east, as you can see right over here. The storms that are centered near Cuba, the Bahamas, right around here, is going to move it due northeast right over here. And the tropical waves right over here, we do not expect any development. This is just the latest water vapor imagery. You can see the dry air right over here. That's just going to stay there for the next couple days due to that Sahara dust right over here. That is just moving off the western coast of Africa right over here. And as you can see right over here, this is the same thing we were talking about right over here. And let's look at the GFS model. So this is as of June 9th, 5 a.m. It's about 2 hours earlier. And as you can see, we do have these tropical waves are bringing some shower and thunderstorm activity right over here, just south of the main development region, just south of um, the Caribbean right over here. You can see most of the shower and thunderstorm activity is in the eastern Pacific, as you can see. And as we keep this track moving right over here, you can see that it's just going to keep at bay right over here. The shower and thunderstorm activity is bringing some rain totals right over here, just south of the main development region, due to that Sahara dust right over here, just sitting right over the main development region right over here. That's Sahara dust right over here. So that's just going to keep it quiet right over here. As you can see, the main development region quiet. As long as that Sahara dust is over here, that's going to keep the main development region quiet from any tropical developments that are trying to form, as you can see. And as I keep the track going, this is a couple days or so. This is June 12th. You can see the same thing is popping up. You can see the shower and thunderstorm activity that was hit over eastern Cuba right over here. I'm sorry about that. Let me get that out the way. That was centered over eastern Cuba and the Bahamas right over here. It's kind of let up, as you can see right over here. And we're doing some drier conditions right over here. We do have some spotty shower and thunderstorm activity just east of Puerto Rico and the Haiti and Dominican Republic right over here. But Central America is dealing with some shower and thunderstorm activity as of June 14th right over here. This is next week. And as you can see right over here, that moisture just going to build up in the Central America right over here. We do have some shower and thunderstorm activity due to these tropical waves right over here. So the shower and thunderstorm activity is kind of staying south in the main development region due to that Sahara dust. And these tropical waves are not expected to develop, as you saw from the National Hurricane Center. So as we keep this track going, we can see a buildup right over here due to Central America right over here. Could see some tropical storm Brett or Hurricane Brett within the next couple of days or so. This is June 19th, 2023. As you can see right here, we do see a spin up right over here with the pressure dropped to at least 987 degrees 87 millibars right over here. This low pressure system right over here expected to develop due to that picking up that moisture around it. You can see right over here, you can see that spin up right over here. I've been watching this model from the GFS model for the past couple of days, and this model for the past 72 hours, this model has been taking it through the Florida Peninsula, up the coast, eastern coast of Louisiana, Texas. The GFS model has been bringing the system all over the place. And as of right now, the GFS model is the only model that's talking about this being a hurricane or a tropical storm. No other models is talking about this. So this is very, very low. And as you can see, the wind shear, I'll show you guys the wind shear is very, very strong within the Gulf of Mexico as of right now, as of this time right over here, June 22nd right over here. And as you can see, the Eastern Pacific, we could see a tropical storm Adrian or a Hurricane Adrian. I'll be talking about that later in the video. And as you can see right over here, this is expected to move into Louisiana, western Louisiana, eastern Texas right over here. And as you can see right over here, this DFS model is only model that is talking about this actually becoming a strong hurricane. We can see 963 pressure at around 963 pressure right over here. So this could be a strong tropical storm or hurricane, category 1 or 2 hurricane, as you can see, and it just moves right into the state of Texas. Now, take this with a grain of salt. It's still far out. This is about 2 weeks out, so don't take this very literally. And I'll be keeping you guys updated if this does develop. I'll be watching the models for the next couple days and see if this does develop out over here. But has been saying the same thing for the past 72 hours, bringing a very strong hurricane, maybe a strong tropical storm, weak hurricane throughout the Gulf of Mexico. Has been good. GFS models has been saying it's likely, and kind of keeping the same track right over here throughout Texas right over here. Most of the GFS models are bringing this system into Texas mainly, but it is 2 weeks out, so I'll be keeping you guys updated as we just take a better look at this. Let's go into the Western Atlantic right over here. As you can see right over here, maybe like June 18th right over here. You can see that moisture build up within the Central America right over here, June 18th. And as you keep this track going, you can see the rain start to get a little bit heavier. And this, you can see it looks very, very disorganized right over here as June 19th. But it is going to get better organized, as you can see right over here. You see that spit up right over here, just west of Cuba right over here, bringing some rain, probably some heavy rain right over here for western coast of Cuba right over here, and maybe the Gulf of Mexico. Now, it is June, and most of the developments that we see in June do develop within the Gulf of Mexico, the Caribbean, and the eastern coast of the United States. So this is very, very common. We could see a development within the Gulf of Mexico right over here within the next couple of days, and it does look very, very strong, as you can see right over here. You can see that wrap up right over here, that kind of clockwise spin right over here, it does get very, very strong, as you can see right over here, for June 23rd. So don't take this lightly, and maybe get prepared, but it is kind of far out, as you can see. But the GFS model is the only model as right now, as it's saying, this could be a very, very strong tropical storm or a weak hurricane, as you can see, and just moving straight into Texas, as you can see right over here, as of June 25th, and kind of dissipating as it moves through Texas, still bringing heavy rain for the eastern parts of Texas, especially, as you can see. So this is as of this model, as you can see right over here. If you take a look at the moisture, at the humidity right over here, let's go look at that right over here real quick. Actually, I do have that pulled up right over here. So this is the humidity right over here. You can see that's a harbor dust as of right now. This is as of right now, June 9th, as of 5 a.m., 6 a.m. time frame. You see that's a harbor dust, bringing some dry air to the Dominican Republic, Haiti, Puerto Rico. And you can see all that moisture due to those tropical waves moving off the western coast of Africa, just south of the main development region, the northern tip of South America, and the eastern Pacific right over here. So you can see very, very, very moist air for the Eastern Pacific right over here. If you keep this track going, it's just going to say the same thing as we talked about. Some dry air within the main development region. See some moist air trying to pick up within the main development region, but some very, very dry air throughout the Gulf of Mexico. For the next couple of days, we could do these deal with some very dry air, and this is June 19th, and it is saying the same thing. We do have two systems right over here for the Eastern Pacific that could be Tropical Storm Adrian or Hurricane Adrian within the next 2 weeks or so, or week or so. So I'll be keeping an eye on these two systems. This just developed right over here next past 24 hours or so. But we have been watching this system for the past 72 hours. So the JFS model is the only model that's saying this could become a hurricane within the next couple 2 weeks or so, as of June 22nd, right over here. You can see it's very, very strong hurricane right over here, picking up that moisture right over here. You can see some dry air just west of this system right over here. This could be Tropical Storm or Hurricane Brett. That is the next name in this system right over here. And it's moving straight through Texas. But that is just as of right now. This is way too far up to say that it could develop, as we can see right now. But the GFS model is the only model that is saying that this could develop. It has been, playing with this system right over here, moving it through the Florida Peninsula, through up the eastern coast near the Carolinas and Virginia, to up to Louisiana, to up to Texas. So this DFS model has been playing with this system right up here. You can just see is this going to build up that moisture that has been over the south, the Central America and North and South America right over here. Just going to build up that moisture, as you can see right over here, and just spin up. You can see that counterclockwise spin, as you can see right over here. As we take a better look at the Western Atlantic, as you can see, the pressure does drop. That means you can see a strong system right over here, possibly Hurricane Brett. As you can see, the center right over here. You can see an eye right over here. This is only from the GFS model. No other models are saying that, but as you can see that spin up right over here, you can see our next system, maybe tropical storm, weak hurricane right over here, affect Texas right over here within the next 2 weeks or so. And as you can see, it is not expected to, move into the Florida Peninsula anymore as it was. It's supposed to. Um, like last 24 hours, it was headed towards Florida into the Carolinas and Virginia. But as you can see right over here, this could develop, as you can see. And right over here, as we take a good look at June 15th, and we look into the Eastern Pacific, right over here, we could have our first name system within the Eastern Pacific. Now, why I see the Eastern Pacific becoming a hurricane more than the Gulf of Mexico is because the ocean temperatures are fairly, very, very, very hot, as you can see, due to the El Nino, and the wind shear is very, very low, as you can see. Um, Throughout the Eastern Pacific. So I do expect this system to become a hurricane more likely than a one in the Gulf of Mexico that is expected to become a hurricane or tropical storm. As you can see, the moisture is going to build up, as you can see right over here. And as of June 19th, you can see a spin up, counterclockwise spin up, moving west. So I don't really expect this to affect any landmass, as you can see right over here. As of right now, it's not expected to affect any land. It is supposed to become a hurricane, or it could become a hurricane or a tropical storm for at least 48 hours right over here. You can see the um, the pressure drop. That means a very, very strong system right over here. You can see all that moisture just wrapped around the center right over here. As you can see, 977 pressure right over here. It went from 981 pressure to 977. So these two systems, it could be Hurricane Tropical Storm Brett and Tropical Storm or Hurricane Adrian. That's going to be our first name system in the East Pacific. That is expected to become a hurricane or tropical storm right over here, right over the Eastern Pacific, but it's not expected to affect any land. You can see it is expected to move into those warm waters, so it could last longer than this system and its interaction with land. As you can see right over here, that dry air wrapped around this system, just west of the system right over here. This system right over here in the Gulf of Mexico, and we do have some dry air right just west of the system right over here. This system right over here, you can see some dry air just wrapped west of the system. But I do expect this system, maybe it could develop, as you can see right over here. It's just favorable. The environment is just favorable. And if you can see, look at the wind shear actually. You see the wind shear right about now. The Gulf of Mexico is dealing with some high wind shear, as you can see, just ripping throughout the Gulf of Mexico. As you see, this wind shear right over here is causing the shower and thunderstorm activity that is centered, as we talked about, into the eastern Cuba right over here in the Bahamas to kind of rip apart and move just northeast. As you can see, this wind shear is moving northeast, so it is causing the shower and thunderstorm activities that is centered right over here there, near the eastern parts of Cuba and the Bahamas, just to rip northeast. So as you can see, the wind shear just kind of plays a game. You can see the eastern Pacific right over here dealing with some very low wind shear, but as the Gulf of Mexico and the Caribbean dealing with some very high wind shear, and the main development region is dealing with some moderate wind shear, as you can see right over here. But this system right over here that is supposed to develop, maybe a tropical storm or Hurricane Brett, is going to be dealing with some wind shear, as you can see right over here in the Eastern Pacific. System right over here is going to be dealing with some light wind shear, as you can see, but not as much as this system right over here in the Gulf of Mexico. As you can see, the wind shear is going to be lightening up a little bit within the Gulf of Mexico. You could see some light wind shear within the next 2 weeks or so. If you take a closer look at the Eastern Pacific right over here, that's just the system I really want to develop right over here in the Eastern Pacific. This could be our first named system in the Eastern Pacific. We have not had any tropical developments in the Eastern Pacific so far. And the Eastern Pacific hurricane season starts May 15th, so we have never seen any development within the Eastern Pacific or even tropical disturbances. So as you can see right over here, this system that is expected to develop Adrian right over here, maybe tropical storm or Hurricane Adrian that is expected to develop right over here, is dealing with some low wind shear, as you can see. Then the wind shear starts to increase, moving south a little bit, southwest right over here near this system right over here, just south of the system, dealing with some strong wind shear. But as I said, the ocean temperatures are very, very, very warm, as you can see right over here in the Eastern Pacific. As you can see, maybe in the let me see, mid 80s right over here. The ocean temperatures are expected to rise, expected to rise, expected to rise within the Eastern Pacific within the next couple days or so. So I do expect these two systems to form, as you can see right over here. The wind shear is not that bad, as you can see, for the Eastern Pacific at least. The Gulf of Mexico is dealing with some heavy wind shear just north of the system as June 20th. But as you can see, both of these systems are expected to develop within the same time frame, June 19th. You can see both of these systems develop, Brett and Adrian, as you can see it over here. So that is the wind shear for these two systems. Like I said, it is too far out to say these systems will develop right over here, but we need to keep a close eye on these two systems. So this is the um, wind speed and wind knots right over here. This GFS model, as you're saying, you can see as we go to June 15th, the wind is very kind of moderate, as you can see throughout the Gulf of Mexico and the Caribbean and the main development region right over here. Eastern Pacific dealing with some light wind, as you can see, this development right over here, Brett maybe, as it moves north throughout the Gulf of Mexico and into the Texas right over here, the coast of Texas, Louisiana right over here. As you can see, the wind does pick up, as you can see right over here, as you do to the western Atlantic right over here. You can see the wind speeds maybe up to 64 knots, as you can see right over here. Maybe a hurricane or a weak tropical storm. As you can see, the wind is just favorable enough for this system to develop. Much bigger than the system out in the East Pacific at around now. As of right now, due to that moisture, it's picking up in the Gulf of Mexico, all that moisture in the Gulf of Mexico. So this system is expected to become bigger. It's expected to be bigger than the system in the Eastern Pacific, and the wind speed is stretching for hundreds of miles right over here. You can see the center right over here, right over here, in the center of this system, low pressure system right over here. This could be Brett. So I'll keep you guys updated right over here. As we look at the Eastern Pacific, right over here, it is saying the same thing, but this system is much smaller, as you can see, but it is expected to become very, very strong, as you see, with pressure right around 979 millibars right over here. You could have a weak hurricane or strong tropical storm as of the Eastern Pacific right over here. This low pressure system as of June 19th, these two systems are expected to develop within June 19th and extend maybe to the late June, early July, as you can see right over here. But I'll keep you guys updated on these two systems right over here. And if you look at the vorticity map right over here, you can see this is as of right now, June 9th. And if you keep this going, you can see there's no developments, no dark reds, as you can see right over here, dark spots of reds. But as we get into June 19th, we do see some spin ups right over here. These two systems I will be watching for you guys, and if these do develop, I'll be keeping you guys updated right over here, as you can see right over here. So we do expect these two to develop. You can see the vorticity map showing a very well defined counterclockwise spin right over here, as you can see, moving through Texas right over here. And that is as of this video right over here. These two tropical storms or hurricanes that could develop. As you can look at windy right over here, you see the ocean temperature near the Gulf of Mexico are very, very warm. In the main development region are very, very warm. You can see low 80s right over here, high 70s right over here. So we are dealing with some warm ocean temperatures, and right over here the South Eastern Pacific dealing with some very, very warm temperatures right over here, 80s, 86, 87 degrees Fahrenheit. So it is very, very warm right over here in the Eastern Pacific right over here. And that's it. That is about it as of the right around now. There is no tropical developments expected for the next 7 days. And I thank you all for watching my video. Will be watching these two systems that is expected to develop around June 19th through June 25th. One expected to move up into the Gulf of Mexico and into, you know, Louisiana, maybe Texas, and one is supposed to be has a higher chance of developing due to those low wind shear and very, very warm waters right in the Eastern Pacific that's expected to move west. That system is not expected to affect any land as it moves west. So we won't really have to worry about that system, but we do have to worry about that system GFS model is tracking that is supposed to move up the Gulf of Mexico and into Texas. So I'll keep you guys updated. I will be watching these two systems. And if you want to see more content like this, please subscribe to my channel. It is Force Cyclone here. I'll be keeping you guys daily updates. I'll try to give you guys daily updates every single day. And I thank you all for watching my video, and you all have a good day.